back to What She Said Sports. All right, so it's the nighttime edition, and we're gonna give everybody a chance because we just went live. We're gonna give everybody a chance to catch up to us. But if you were paying attention to the intro, Travis Hunter and his new teammates are in the Bahamas. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Our guy Travis Hunter is getting to know his new teammates. He already has a new handshake. So we'll give everybody a chance to join us, and that's what we're talking about tonight. So welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And I'll just play the video so everybody is on a loop. So the Jacksonville Jaguars are projected to, people think they might make the playoffs. It's possible. It's possible. Over in the Bahamas, you have the players that you see here who I commend for recording. He has a YouTube channel already. He played for Washington and now he's with the Jaguars. He is also a starting wide receiver. His name on the screen, Dyami Brown. He went to University of North Carolina. He's a Tar Heel. He got drafted in the 2021 class with like Patrick Surtain. And he seems to be really, liked by everybody. He just got to Jacksonville. I'm just happy to see another player work on their brand. As you can see, Trevor Lawrence is over there. They're in a stadium in the Bahamas. And the goal of this exercise was for them to bond. They have Travis is new. Dyami is new. Brian Thomas Jr. is there. He's not new, but they're all working together. The quarterback and the wide receivers, they're all trying to gel. I like this. I think it's an excellent idea. And I was taking a look at Dyami's content, and he has, a good following on YouTube. He has other videos when he worked out in the off season in the same manner. They weren't in the Bahamas, but it was when he was with the Washington Commanders. So technically, this is his 5th year in the league. He's only 25 years old and very, very charismatic, good personality. He and Travis, I noticed they kind of gel really well. They both, Travis likes to dance. Dyami likes to talk. So it worked out. They both have content. And I thought I heard Travis say he was a co-host. So that means we might see the similar content pop up on Travis's feed. Now, the NFL took some of the content, and obviously they have somebody over there filming, and they showed that, Travis and Trevor Lawrence has a handshake, right? So all the players are over there bonding. The NFL's taking advantage of this and like, hey, look, wide receiver Travis Hunter bonding with Trevor Lawrence. They already have, a special handshake, and they do, and it's cute. And the other guys over there. So I took a look at the depth chart just to kind of see, where all these guys stack up. Well, the 3 wide receivers that they show us, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, and Dyami, are all the starters. When they play with a 3 wide receiver set, each one of these guys is wide receiver 1. So for them to be over there bonding, getting to know one another, Travis being the rookie that was drafted, Dyami being the free agent that was signed from Washington, and Brian Thomas Jr. being the guy that was there last year. This is a perfect trio to get together and bond. And what better place than the Bahamas, right? So that's what we pretty much doing, talking about, tonight, the Jacksonville Jaguars, looking at their preseason schedule to see who it is that they're going to play, trying to see if y'all have an idea of what you think the Jags are going to do this season, right? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jacksonville plays overseas. They have 7 games being played outside the United States by the NFL, and Jacksonville is playing one of those games. So, yep, that's what I wanted to know. Hey, Tina. Hey, Political Lil. Hey, Gracie. Hey, Crowley. So we just, I just put on the screen. So I'm going to take a look at their schedule. I actually got photos of some of it already to kind of just see what we think they might do. All right. So it looks like their first preseason game is August the 9th. Didn't y'all say that's the second game? Didn't y'all say that's Coach Prime's birthday? It said week 2. I think they week 1 might be in London. Yep. So it says week 2 preseason for Jacksonville is August 9th, which I'll say was Coach Prime's birthday, against Pittsburgh. Okay, okay. So we get to see. Do y'all think we'll see? I'm sure we'll see Travis in the preseason. Do y'all think we'll see Travis in the preseason? Hey fam, how you doing? How you doing, Jackie? Thank you. So I'm hoping we'll see Travis in the first preseason game. I'm sure we'll see him in London, and then week 3, against the Saints, and then they play week 4 against Miami. So that's pretty good. So that's essentially Trevor and Tua. Then you have Travis, a wide receiver. Tyreek Hill, I think he is still in Miami. If he is, that's gonna be good to see. Then they have the Saints. Other than Alvin Kamara, I think a lot of people not happy with the Saints. And then there's Pittsburgh. So what? Aaron Rodgers. We might see Will Howard. Pittsburgh picked up Will Howard, who won the Natty last year. We might see Will Howard play against Trevor Lawrence. Now, I did look at the depth chart for the QBs. I did not recognize anybody outside of Trevor Lawrence that's a QB for Jacksonville. So I don't know. That's probably who we gonna see. I'm thinking that's who we gonna see, right? So I don't know. I think they're gonna have a good season. I like this idea of them bonding. I don't know why the Bahamas. Maybe it's not that far. I don't know. I don't think it's that far, but I mean, I like it. I like it. Have you ever heard of teams doing this, like going to the islands or something and working out together to do? It's like a team building. It's like just team building. What do y'all think about that? Knowing that we already have some games out of the country to see training exercises in the Bahamas. And if y'all know anything about Brian Thomas, what's his name? Brian Thomas Jr. That's his name, Brian Thomas Jr. Let me know what y'all know about him. I know he played for Jacksonville last year. I'm more familiar with the guy that just came in that you see right here on the screen, Diami. Of course, I know who Travis Hunter is. But Brian Thomas is the guy that was there last year. So if y'all know how he did or anything, and that's Trevor Lawrence, let me know. So yeah, and there's Travis doing Travis. Travis is hilarious. I don't care where you take him, he gonna bust a move. That's the funny thing. What they were actually talking about was coming up with multiple handshakes. It was an interesting conversation. It's kind of funny. They were talking about making sure that they have their handshakes together. And Diame was like, "Yeah, we just need one handshake all season." Travis was like, "No, no, 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 no. We gotta have multiple handshakes. You can't just have one handshake." So they were talking about that, and Diami thought it was a good analogy to say it's like having a gun. I don't know why they use this analogy. It's like having a gun with multiple bullets, something like that. And then Travis said, or you could have one bullet for multiple guns. I was like, oh, okay, I don't know. But those two, in my opinion, have hit it off. Dayami is a personality. Travis is a personality. They've hit it off. And with all of these guys starting, Dayami and Travis and Brian Thomas Jr., I think this is good to bring them together. And it's not just them over there, but those are the three that people focusing on because, Travis is a wide receiver. So I like it. I like it. I don't know why the Bahamas, though. I don't know how far Jacksonville is from the Bahamas to know. It was that a hop, skip, and a jump. It could have been. But Travis being Travis and the other guys, their personalities, in my opinion, are closely aligned. I think they're gonna have a good season. Now, the quarterback has had some issues, right? And I don't know if the issues that Trevor Lawrence has had can be attributed to a wide receiver. Meaning, if you get another wide receiver, that's a good thing. Y'all have to let me know. Hey, brother, how you doing? Yep, we having a good day. Thank you, Jackie. Absolutely. Yep. It said I did. I don't. He took the trips with Shador. He was invited. He never took the trips with Shador. He was invited. Who are you talking about, Miss Anyway? Oh, are you talking about Travis going to the Bahamas? Hey, everybody, hit the like button. It's 32 people. Hit the like button. So, we're talking about the season that these people might have. Uh, Jacksonville gets the type of love that Jimmy Horn Jr. gets from the Carolina Panthers. Does that analogy make sense? You see how the Carolina Panthers love on Jimmy Horn Jr.? Um, See, the difference is though, see, Travis was a top draft pick. So for Jimmy to get that kind of love and not be the top draft pick makes you look at Carolina like, okay, how did this gonna be interesting, right? So while Jimmy burning up the social media for the Carolina Panthers, you see the same love being given to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're that team that the league is kind of latching on to. So my question is to you guys. We see Trevor. We see the new guy, Dayami from Washington. We know Travis. Y'all know Brian Thomas Jr. What kind of season do you think they will have? And the issues that Trevor had before is having a unicorn in Travis Hunter, meaning a stud as a wide receiver. Is that going to be enough? And what kind of season you think they're going to have record wise? Let's take a look at the teams that they will play in the regular season. So we know preseason don't count. My question was, do y'all think we'll see Travis in the preseason? I mean, I kind of think so. I would kind of think so. So let's see here. Okay, so it shows. Oh, anybody planning on going to any Jacksonville Jaguar games? Let me know. I'm curious. I don't know where everybody lives, but let me know if y'all plan on going to a Jacksonville game. Let's see. So we want to kind of predict a little bit. We want to see if we could do a slight prediction to kind of see how we think they'll win. So for instance, their first regular season game is the Carolina Panthers. That's September 7th, and that's in Charlotte. Then they'll play Cincinnati. I hate they don't play Cleveland because they play Cincinnati, but they don't play Cleveland. Then there's Houston, the Texans. Then there's San Francisco. That's Brock Purdy, Pat Mahomes, Sam Darnold. Now, I wonder if we'll see Jalen Milroe play in the preseason for Seattle. That's something we have to keep up with. October, they're going to play Seattle. Then they're going to play the Rams. I don't know. If you would say that their schedule is tough, let's see what y'all are saying. Hey, is J5 back yet? He has healed from his injury. I'm sure he is. We just won't know until I'm sure he'll be good to go by the time he gets to what's that rookie camp around the 13th, I think, or the 18th of July, the end of this month. That's starting tomorrow. Tomorrow is a new month. So we have officially made it halfway through the year. We have made it halfway through the year. So y'all know what's getting ready to happen, right? July 1 is tomorrow. You're getting ready to hear back to school advertisements. And as soon as you hear back to school advertisements, guess what you're going to start seeing at the store? Halloween. So the first time y'all are out and about and you see a back to school sign, post it, send it to me so we can talk about it. You know my email address, what she said, 404@gmail.com. The first time y'all are out and about, just enjoying your life, and you see back to school ads or you see Halloween ads, please send them to me because we're going to talk about it. I want to see how early it happens this year. I may be able to find my way to Jacksonville during the season. Okay, anybody else thinking of going to Jacksonville? Let's see. Gracie said she might be able to. Ghost Nessa said Jacksonville, Florida to the Bahamas is 450 miles. That's about 6 hours if you drive, but I don't even know if that's possible. And then cheap flights. Okay, if one wants to be super bougie, not a bad boat ride. Okay, so you could take a boat ride. You could take a boat ride. Okay, I heard about people going to Bimini all the time. It seems like from Miami to Bimini is 45 minutes or something, and people go there all the time. Now, I know they're in the Bahamas, but I don't know exactly where. I've seen an aerial view of this stadium, but I couldn't tell you exactly where it is. Like they have areas like Exuma, Pink Sand Beach, this, that, and the other. I don't know what this area is called. So, anybody else thinking of going to a Jacksonville Jaguar home game? I think that would be good. Let's see what they look like. Does anybody have any interest in Jacksonville home games? Oh, James is somewhere near Charlotte, so he might be able to catch the Panthers versus Jacksonville. I don't know if he gonna join the comments tonight. He might, depending on how long we on here. I'm on the wrong side of the Mississippi River. Oh, okay, okay, Ghost Vanessa. So you are, what are you? Are you in Texas, Louisiana? Are you in Mississippi? Where are you located? Let us drop us the area code if you want. Crowley said, yes, July is tomorrow. It's my birthday month. All right, well, let's wish Crowley a happy birthday in advance. It's her birthday month, so you can celebrate all month long. Happy, happy birthday, Crowley. Happy birthday to you. Y'all drop her some happy birthday wishes. So Trevor is the leader of this crew. I like that he and Travis have already bonded. I think that that's nice. Let's see. Let me see if I could see. I think the one game I probably would like to see is Jacksonville versus Carolina Panthers. I just want to see the Buffs match up against each other. That's what I want to see. Jacksonville Jags schedule. Let's look at the whole schedule. Oh, did y'all see Shiloh yesterday? He went up to a high school to work out. Shiloh is a celebrity. He is putting Tampa on the map one video at a time. I looked at Shiloh with the kids at the high school he went to work out up there. And it was so funny. One kid did like this. He told me, nah, that's Shador. I'm like, okay. The dude knew it wasn't. He wasn't Shador. He told that little kid, nah, that's Shador. I'm like, oh Lord, have mercy. He is something else. Okay, so the games. What conference are they in? I need to learn what conference they're in, a division, um, who their opponents are. Oh, play people like the Titans, or they play the Titans in January. They have the Titans in January, the Colts, the Broncos, the Jets, the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Raiders. They do play the Raiders. That might be a good game. What kind of running back does Jacksonville have? Does anybody know? Does anybody know anything about Jacksonville? Because if not, Travis is putting them on the map. Political Lil say happy birthday, Crowley, and many, many more. Jungle Brother said that too. Who is that? 208. Where is area code 208? Where is that? Let's see. Hmm. Area code 208. So if you're just joining us, the video on the screen is a snippet of the Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver core, quarterback, and a few other people working out in the Bahamas. This is a stadium in the Bahamas. 208. That makes you. Hmm. It covers you in Idaho? Is that right? Are you in Idaho? Crowley? That says 208. Are you in Idaho? I'm asking. Wait a minute. That says area code 208 covers the entire state of Idaho, including cities like Boise, Idaho Falls, and Pocatello. What? You are in the mountain time zone. Crowley, are you in Idaho? Or did I get that wrong? Oh, Ghost Nessa. No, that's who said that. Yes, I'm in Idaho. What? I spent a ton of time in the 910 and the 510. What is it like in Idaho? You have to tell us. Are you the only cookie in the chocolate chip? Well, no, are you the only chip in the cookie? Let me know. What do y'all have any black spots? Like what is it like living in Idaho or being in Idaho? Are you by yourself? Let us know. And what's the biggest city you can get to where you could find, like, is it like Illinois? Look, I gotta look at the map and see where you get to see a lot of people that are melanated. Like what city is the closest melanated haven that you could get to? I'm hoping my friend can get me some tickets when Jacksonville plays Miami. He works for the NFL owner, Mr. Ross. Oh, okay. You know somebody on the inside. Okay, Jackie. It said Jacksonville have former Clemson running back Travis Etienne. Okay, I've heard his name. at running back. He's one of the best backs in the league. Okay, so they're gonna have a good run game, brother. Okay, all right. So Ghost and Nessa said, I'm about to say something out of pocket, but we have a Division 1 school. We have a Division 1 school. Uh wait, what? So that's where you see us at? Yep, the only chip in the cookie. Okay, I need you to finish that because it was like I'm about to say something out of pocket, but we have a Division 1 school. Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so y'all's chat is about to appear on the screen, so be good. Be good. Be good. Be good. All right. So if you're looking at the screen at the video to the left of it, the left side of the frame with the video, you should start seeing the comments pop up on the screen. It's gonna take a minute. All right. So yes, I did say that. That boy, the only chip in the cookie. That's funny. That's really funny. Oh, Miss Anyway says she was talking about Travis. So Gracie says she might find her way to a Jacksonville game. I think I guess Charlotte gonna be the one that I would want to go to. Um, I have to look at that. That's the first game. That's also where I can get a 2-for-1, like Jimmy Horn Jr. Travis is something else. It said, real talk, Boise is a refuge resettlement city. So we have Africans and we have a history with the Chinese because of the railroads. Oh, like Louisiana. But we have a lot of Native Americans. Okay. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. So when you want to see us and hang out and get some good old black culture, maybe play spades or put some boots on the ground. What is the nearest city for that? Just in case you want to put some boots on the ground. What city is that? I gotta look. I feel like it's Chicago. That's what I think. Just based off what I know. Let's see. So y'all, Nessa is telling us about Idaho. She's in Idaho. I did ask, was anybody planning on going to a Jacksonville game? I also said that the NFL seemingly is trying to make us all interested in the Jacksonville Jaguars because of Travis. But we already inherited that because we like Travis. That's our guy. Probably Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Okay, Las Vegas. Yeah, that's pretty diverse. Okay, Las Vegas. So essentially, you could probably, if the Vegas versus Jacksonville's game is in Vegas, you could probably catch them there. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, November 2nd, the Raiders in Las Vegas versus Jacksonville. So you could go to that game if you want to go to that game. It's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know how far that is from you, but at least it is west of the Mississippi. At least it's west of the Mississippi. Hello, let's see. All right. So let's see. All right. Well, let's see who else we got on this schedule. All right. Now I'm call out some teams. Let me know which team the game that you will be interested in. Jacksonville versus one of these teams. Drop the name of the team. That's the game you want to watch. Now we got some games to watch. And it might be, we need another team to kind of rally around because we don't really know if our guys gonna get true playing time. And we have already said if Shador ain't playing, then we ain't watching it. So this is kind of like getting us acquainted with a backup team. So we can watch the games. Cause I don't want to watch just to see if Shador gonna get in the game. But that's probably what they're gonna do to us. Cause again, they're not dumb. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. The first regular season game of the season is you will never guess. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Is anybody interested in that? I like the Eagles, but I don't know about the Cowboys. I don't know what they're gonna do. Did they ever give Micah his contract? Does anybody know? All right, so let's see. We just vibing, looking, trying to see what's going on with Jacksonville because we might not get to see Shador right away. All right. First game up preseason, Steelers. All right, let me know if you want to see any of these games. I'm just curious. And if you like, no, I don't want to see any of these games, feel free to let me know who you think is going to win. Let me know. All right. Preseason, the Steelers, Dolphins, and the Saints. I I would have one time wanted to see the Saints, but not now. I don't even want to see the Steelers. I think the only game I want to see them play is their regular season opener, which is seems to be in Jacksonville. Where's Jacksonville from Atlanta? Does anybody know? Um, September 7th. So okay, that's what I'm thinking. So we might have a chance to watch that game. Yeah, we might watch that game. So we have the I don't know. Oh, here we go. All right. So if you want to see the Jacksonville play the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Panthers, the Saints, the Bengals, Texans, 49ers, Chiefs, Seahawks, Rams, Raiders, Texans, again, Chargers, Cardinals, Xavier Weaver, Cardinals, Titans, Cam, Indianapolis Colts. It was going to be Anthony Richardson, but not no more. Unless he's back by December 7th. The Jets, I like the Jets because why? Quarterbacks. The Broncos, Bo Nix, that could be a good one. And the Titans last. They play the Titans twice. They must be in the division with the Titans. They play the Texans twice. So that's the division that they're in. Okay. They played Joe Burrow and the Bengals once. All right, we probably gonna be watching some Jags as a backup if we don't see Shador first few games. What they probably gonna do is look at the ratings and see how it goes to make a determination if they're gonna be forced to play Shador or not. Jacksonville to Atlanta, 360 miles, depending on your route. Oh, okay, 360 miles, so 3.5 hours. Okay, that's not bad. I like Jacksonville versus Kansas City, a Monday night football game. That boy, I could see that being a good game to watch. When I was reading that one, I was like, oh, Pat Mahomes. Yeah, I could see that one. All right, anybody else have a Jacksonville game that they want to see? I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers, the Texans because of CJ Stroud, the Jets, Justin Fields, or Tyrod Taylor. The Titans, of course, Cam Ward. I think the Seahawks are on here. Only if I get to see Jalen Milrow. Only if I get to see Jalen Milrow. Um, don't care about the Colts because Anthony Richardson probably might not be playing. I want to see if that young man is going to get his starting job back. That's what I want to see with the Colts. Because when Tyrod Taylor had his lung was punctured by that doctor who still works for the Chargers, he never got his starting job back. They gave it to Justin Herbert and never gave Tyrod Taylor another starting job. So I want to see what happens with Anthony Richardson. Cardinals. Of course, I want to see the Cardinals because of what? Xavier Weaver. To see if he gets to play. And if Travis plays defense, then we get to see a 1v1 of Xavier Weaver versus Travis Hunter. The Texans, CJ Stroud. The Rams, was that Matt Stafford? I don't know anybody else plays for them. But the Chiefs, that does seem to be a game that I feel like will be a good one. And it is at 8:15 on October the 6th, which sounds like a primetime game. Other than that, they don't really have any other. A lot of primetime games. A lot of their games are at 1 o'clock and 4 p.m. with the exception of one with the Chiefs. And they do have a game. It's preseason, August 9th, which could be a weekday. Um, Jags and the Steelers. Other than that, I think they banking on the Chiefs game. That's the only game they have that's prime time. But the NFL does reserve the right to change the lineup. So let's say the first regular season game versus who is it? The Panthers. Let's say that's gonna be a good game, by the way. Bryce Young versus Trevor Lawrence, but then you also have Jimmy Horn Jr. and Travis. But then if they let that's Travis as a wide receiver. Now y'all notice Travis is in the Bahamas playing, getting to know his wide receivers. Uh, but we might get to see a 1v1 matchup with Travis on defense. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think they're gonna let Travis play defense that early? Like, are they gonna wait till later on in the season? Or do you think in the preseason we'll see him take snaps on both sides and then maybe the first few games, or you think they'll just hold off on that till later on? Let me know your thoughts. Let's see. Ghost Nessa said that week 7 game against the Rams in London will be interesting. Oh, that's a week 7 game. Okay. It said I would be a better temperature check on how big Travis is internationally. That'll be one to keep an eye on. Okay, I like that. Nessa, thank you. So that's a week 7 game. See, I thought they were playing all of these games at the top of the season. So they just spread them out throughout the season. Let me look at that. Okay, I thought they were all at the beginning of everybody's schedule. Yeah, I think that's probably why we see Jacksonville being how should I say highlighted. One of the teams that, you know, we see the NFL highlighting because they betting on Travis with the international pull for people to come see him. If that's the case, and that game isn't until week 7, they're gonna want to play him on both sides of the ball. What do y'all think about that? I think that that's actually good. If they play Travis, let him have snaps on both sides, and they have a good record going into week 7, going overseas. Yeah, that's good business. That's just good business. But they don't make good business decisions. So I think this might be one that they make though. This might be one. Let's see the NFL international schedule. I'm just curious. I looked at it, but I didn't look at the dates because it was too early on. To international games. Let's see what we got. Okay, Kansas City Chiefs. Now they gonna play at the beginning of the season. September the 5th, the game is gonna be on YouTube. By YouTube, I'm assuming they mean YouTube TV. And it's against the Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil, right? Um, that's one. Yep, Sao Paulo. Then they have one in Dublin. That's September 28th. That one will be on the NFL Network. That's going to be technically JJ McCarthy versus Aaron Rodgers or Will Howard. So the first one is Pat Mahomes versus Matt Stafford. The second one, JJ McCarthy versus Aaron Rodgers. The third one, Minnesota has 2 games overseas. They have another game on a Sunday, October 5th, between Minnesota and guess who? The Browns. The Browns. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. That's interesting. So they play the Browns. So Minnesota has 2 games over there. That's interesting. Interesting. Nobody else has 2 games but Minnesota. I wonder why that is. So they're gonna play in London. Hopefully they let Shadua play in London. And then the fourth one is Bo Nix versus say Justin Fields in London. That'll be one that I want to see how that turns out. And that is October 12th. Okay. And then October 19th. This is where the Jags play the Rams. That's the one Nessa was telling us about. Okay. And then Atlanta, November 9th versus the Colts in Berlin. Okay. So Minnesota's going to play in Dublin and they're going to play in London. Once they play the Steelers, then they'll play the Browns. And then the Commanders will play. So basically, what is his name? Jaden Daniels versus Tua, or probably Quinn Ewers, depending on that's how that go. That's in Madrid. Okay, so that game is in Madrid. Madrid, Berlin, London, Sao Paulo, Dublin. Okay, so that's where they playing. And that game is late. So they spaced them out throughout the season. That game is November 16th. Okay, that's interesting. So who are the quarterbacks of these games? Pat Mahomes should be Shador, Justin Fields, Michael Penix Jr., and Jaden Daniels and Tua. Okay. So that's interesting. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Okay. It says either way, we are going to see if the GM is really about we got you. Prime already has the formula for Travis's recovery. Yeah. Oh, I definitely think they're gonna put him out there. I could be wrong, but that's just what I think. Do y'all think they're gonna put Travis out there? Hey Queen T, how you doing? It said I listened to your podcast this afternoon. You were on Purifier calling out the NFL on why they drafted Shador and then saying things about his brand. Facts. I mean, honestly, that's the question that they need to answer, right? You can't say you don't want quarterbacks like Shador Sanders. You don't want quarterbacks plural like Shador Sanders, and then draft and deny, or draft and bench, or draft and destroy, or draft and defame or devalue. That's unethical, and uh, they should be held accountable and can be held accountable because one, it's unethical, and two, discrimination is illegal because that's what it is. Um, So that again, the way they do business is unethical, and we just called out what 7 or 8 games that they want to take this type of mentality overseas, right? To places like what Sao Paulo, Dublin, London, right? Madrid, a lot of places that are what diverse. A lot of these places are diverse. Ireland is more diverse than people believe. The history of Black people in Ireland is there. That's why they call it Black and Irish. That's a thing, right? Um, so I just think to take that mentality overseas, just means you want to be able to do whatever you want to do and step all over people and take that kind of attitude with you. I don't think it should be allowed. I think it should be well known that the behavior is unethical and it's illegal, and it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be dealt with. So that's why we talking about the Jaguars, because we probably gonna have to find somebody else to look at. Because I'm not watching to see if I see Shador. I already know the play is they believe that because their fans in Cleveland show up to the tune of approximately 60,000 win, lose, or draw, that they don't have to do anything. They can move forward with Shador being buried on the depth chart, which that's what he currently is. That's why he didn't get any first team reps, right? So thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's unfinished business. It needs to be said. And I had to ask myself, I said, okay, how do I do this, right? How do I move forward and demand accountability at the same time? And that's what we're doing tonight. So earlier today, I was talking about unfinished business with Shador Sanders because why? The media is ready to talk about the 2026 mock draft. And I looked at the quarterbacks that they had pictured in the mock draft photo, and not one of them was Black. And Lenore Sellers is supposed to be a top 5 quarterback. Right now, the Saints supposedly have the first pick. If not, Cleveland has the first pick. But them making him a top 5 pick should make you wonder why. You didn't want Cam to be the number 1 pick till you realized that you couldn't snub all 3 Black quarterbacks. So why is it they're saying they want Lenore Sellers to be a top 5 pick, but he's not even pictured with the quarterbacks even though he's supposedly in the top 10. They listed 4 quarterbacks and showed their images, and none of them are black. That's exactly what I expect to happen because of the extreme event that they pulled. The stunt that they pulled on Shador was extreme. If I'm going to go through all of that trouble to stop one person in the draft and get the other two as we go into the season, what you think I'm going to do next year? I'm going to make sure when they come out of college, I don't have nobody to stop. And if I allow one, I'm going to determine where it is that he goes. And much like Cam and Milroe, when he get there, he going to have to, one, compete, or two, be buried on the depth chart, which is why his father should have taken the $8 million for 2 years. That's why. Thank you, Crowley. Thank you so much. So yeah, I had to ask myself, how do I move forward? But then also demand accountability for Shador, right? And that's where we are. We're talking about Jacksonville tonight. We probably need an alternate team to watch because when Cleveland realizes they fans gonna show up and they don't have to be accountable towards Shador, and Shador fans not gonna outweigh their fan base, at least in the same city when it comes to showing up to games, they gonna do what they want to do, what they've been doing, trying to hold him back. So, in the fight for accountability for what was done to Shador, we got to have another team to look at, and we got other guys in the league. And is there anything that they can do individually? No. Is there anything they can do with the Players Association to remedy the situation? No. We talked about what some of the remedies were, right? Coach Prime is a remedy. Why do I say that? Because he was a remedy for Travis to get his money. And Coach Prime knows that, right? But then what else is a remedy? What did I say? Having your own league. And who did I use as an example? Angel Reese. And how Angel Reese and Nafessa Collier, who's co-owner of Unrivaled Basketball, they started another league. That's why you see Angel Reese balling out the way she is, because she's no longer being held back, because the WNBA is not primary, it's secondary. She's already had a winning season with Unrivaled, so this just lanyard. So it don't matter what they say or what they do. They can't stop me because she has another outlet. That's the remedy. That is the remedy. And then somebody talked about a class action lawsuit. That's a part of it. What did I just say? The business practices that we see towards these black quarterbacks are what? Unethical, number one, and illegal, number two. That's grounds for a class action lawsuit. By who? The fans. Because if you can't stop it at the stadiums and they want to keep showing up, and they probably will keep showing up, that's another remedy. So you put a class action lawsuit for discrimination and you add that with an optional league, another league, an alternative to the NFL. Player led, player owned league, not just any league. Unrivaled is a player owned league that protects and respects the players. That's what they need. You put that with a class action lawsuit for unethical business practices and discrimination, and a player owned, player led league where players can shine and not have to worry about being held back. And then there's Coach Prime. If it worked for Travis, it can work for Shador. Hey people, hey Queen, how you doing? Well, the Egyptian Queen, we got two queens, Queen T and the Egyptian Queen. Queen T said Travis in Jacksonville in the Bahamas. Travis is giving Trevor Lawrence a boost to try and play better. That's what we're looking at on the screen. Travis, if you're just not joining us, this is the Jacksonville Jaguars, the wide receiver core, along with Travis Hunter, Dayami Brown, who just arrived in Jacksonville and signed with them. He was previously with Washington. And you'll see the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, he even has on the top part of his pads. I'm assuming that makes some kind of difference. That's why they put that on there. So they're all over there having what? Team building, team bonding exercise to, further chemistry or to create chemistry between a new group of guys and the guys like Brian Thomas Jr. and Trevor Lawrence from last year. So that's what you're looking at on the screen that's in the loop. Ghost Nessa said, oh, okay, hold on, wait. Queen, not Queen T, but the Egyptian queen said, hey, people, I I am down to go to a game. My uncle lives in Jacksonville. So are we talking home game or away game? Oh, well, if you have family in Jacksonville and you can get to a Jacksonville game, I guess it would be a home game. I think that would be cool. I think that would be nice. And then what did they said Atlanta's 350 miles from Jacksonville, so that's not far. Whether it's a cheap flight or a car drive, ain't a car ride. 350 miles is easy. That's easy. That's less than the time it takes to get from Houston to New Orleans. So that's real easy. And Ghost and Nessa said, my mom lived in the Cleveland area when the team was sold to Baltimore. Oh, okay. And that was a passionate fan base. So I think eventually the Browns fan base will turn during the season. They should. They should. They seem to be getting ready to be pacified with Carson Swessinger as somebody they said can start day one, but it's of course it's raising questions as to how can you say Carson can start, but you can't say Shador can start. And they're talking about Carson's advanced skill set, but they're not talking about Shador's skill set. So that could create why they want to use it to pacify the fans to come out and see this rookie, this, that, and the other. This is what we're working on, trying to ignore Shador. I don't think it'll work. I was watching a documentary yesterday that popped up in my feed um about the WWE, and it was something I heard said, right? How the WWE ended up under congressional oversight. They had to uh I guess testify before Congress. There was scandal after scandal, a misconduct, but this time by people who were the executives, not necessarily just the players or the wrestlers, not the talent per se, but they did have to go before Congress. See, this is what should have happened after the draft. There should have been somebody to say, hey, this isn't right, right? I mean, if you could get 47 to speak out, then what should have happened next? Congress should want to talk, right? But that doesn't seem to be their focus, right? Because feel like they got other things to focus on. And I told y'all there were other misconduct suits, workplace misconduct by the NFL coming out of New York and the state's attorney general's state's attorney's office. So they're no stranger to being sued, and you have to look at how some of these suits have actually gone, especially the whole NFL Sunday ticket with winning a $4.7 billion verdict, but it being overturned by a judge. So that's why I said the remedies. That's why I pointed out what the remedies are. And I would hate for anybody to believe that a remedy is for them to do better, because that ain't going to happen. So back to the WWE, right? They had to go before Congress. There was all kind of scandals. And guess what? They were sold. And guess what? One of the reasons that they were sold for, because they were failing to keep up with progress, with the way things have changed. And that stuck with me. That's exactly what's wrong with the NFL. But the current environment that we live in, Congress is not going to, or if they didn't already, put forth accountability by, hey, come talk to us. We want to investigate this workplace matters that you have going on. That's the protection that they want. That's what's keeping congressional oversight or congressional investigation. That's what's keeping that at bay, because of the agenda, the overall agenda that's taking place in this country fits right in with what's happening with the NFL. And I pointed it out earlier. It's not just the NFL. It's also the NBA and the WNBA. But I said you could see easily how Angel Reese is balling out, right? Even though they said, she wasn't this, she's getting her own rebounds. She's not letting any of that impact her because she has another outlet. So, we talked about remedies earlier today. And one remedy is we probably going to find another team to watch. Because I really think they gonna get ready to. It's funny how they want to say Carson Schwarzenegger can start. He's a second round pick. He has advanced skills, but didn't they draft somebody named Mason Graham first? Why is he not? Why they not talking about him? Why is it he's not the one they're saying he could start? Isn't that what you want from your first pick of the draft? But they talking about the second round pick or the first pick in the second round. It's just more the same. So people waiting for them to change, they're not gonna change. But what happened to WWE? They got called out, they got held accountable, they were sold because they weren't keeping up with the times. They thought it was okay to harass people because that's what they were doing. It said we need to protest that the NFL have someone to fight for the players. I don't even think that that's something that the fans can do. Here's the only way the fans can protest because you're not about to get black people to go outside and protest anything, nor should they. Nor should they. And what's the biggest opposition? The ones who are quiet. Did you see Josh Allen accept his MVP for being the second best quarterback? Why he ain't say nothing? You don't think Jackson Dart and Tyler Shaw know they not better than Jalen Milroe and Shadua Sanders? Did they seem like they was willing to, hey, no, that's not right? No. Yes, the league is majority black, but for the minority of the league, do you hear them saying anything about what happened to Shadua? The only person I heard say anything is the guy that dates Taylor Swift, and he was speaking about these anonymous sources. Have you heard anybody talk about how wrong it was, how evil it was for what the NFL did to Shadua in the draft? Anybody? No. Tina says she not watching NFL. She says she watching CU. Okay, that makes sense. CU plays on a Saturday. CU does play on a Saturday. But one of the remedies is not anything that I don't think this is anything that people can control. Why y'all think they're doing this anyway? Why do you think they avoided the 17 to 32? Because they have fans that they know don't want to see it. It's not for their personal benefit. I mean, in some respects it is, but overall, when they decided in 1934 to ban all black players from the NFL because white people didn't have jobs and it wouldn't look good for black people to be making money. Why y'all think they did that? For their own? Because the number of teams they had back then was like, yeah, well, we don't want to. It don't look good for black people to make money. It don't look good to who? That's exactly what's happening now. It's the same thing. Holding back black quarterbacks so they don't become the majority. And honestly, I don't think that there's any one thing that can be done to change it. You just heard me say they did it in 1934. It's now 2025 and they're doing the same thing, negatively impacting black players at the benefit of who? White people and white players. You're not going to change that, and I'm not going to change that. The only thing that's going to change that is empty stadiums. And if I'm doing it to benefit who, then they going to keep showing up. So that's why one of the remedies, a player led, black owned league is doable. It's doable. Bill Goldberg did. His son is a CU player. He did. Pete, I didn't mean anybody in general. I meant associated with the league. I meant like Travis Kelce, I think, was the only person I can think of who said something about the process with Shador, saying that the anonymous source thing was a sham of this, that, and the other. I didn't mean outside. I meant within the league. That's who should be talking about this. That's who should not be okay with what happened to Shador, because now what do you see? There are 39 players whose contracts are hanging in the balance. But Travis got his signed, but only after he went fishing with whom? That's why Coach Prime is also a remedy. This not gonna, I said it, this not gonna get no better. They not gonna change. They've done it before. It's unethical, it's discriminatory, it's illegal. And yet you don't see lawyers lining up to represent anybody for a lawsuit. Thank you, Peter. Hey Jerry, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's their mindset. Right. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change. I mean, that's just really what it is. And you think the Tyler Shaws of the world don't know that? You think Jackson Dart don't know that? You think Josh Allen don't know that? That's really the problem that they face. The other players are willing to stay silent. How many white players took a knee with Kaepernick? People have likened what happened to Shador with being blackballed like Kaepernick was. Shador wasn't even in the NFL. My problem with the NFL is, why did you draft Shador and any other quarterback that you are now holding back and ostracizing because you don't want black quarterbacks like Shador Sanders now? That's unethical. It's discriminatory. We already have ascertained that you didn't say that because you want dual threats over pocket passers. We have already ruled out that you're not talking about skill set, because you didn't take Milrow either. And guess what? He's the dual threats of he's Mr. Dual Threat. And you burying him on the depth chart. There are actual words that use that. Oh, he's buried on the depth chart. We won't see him this year. Why would you want him buried on the depth chart? Why draft him at all? What, you think you're doing him a favor? By giving him a one-sided, non-guaranteed contract to waste away on the bench? You ain't doing him no favors. You devalued him in the first place. He should have been a late first round pick. He should have been number 21. If we just want to count. So whether you watch or not, it really don't matter. It really don't matter, because it's too many people who gonna show up, who gonna watch, too many other people to support that can't change anything individually. And you know the NFL Players Association ain't gonna do shit. So that's not a remedy. The remedy is what I said it is. The unrivaled basketball of football. Black owned, black player led, black player owned. That's the only remedy. That's why you see Angel Reese playing like she's already greatness. Where her game is right now, the sky's the limit for her. But let's see, when it's time for her contract to be up, how the WNBA treats her. As expensive as those tickets are to some of the Atlanta games and the Chicago Sky games are sold out, you would think that these players are in for a huge payday. You would think that they would match. You would think that they would match what Unrival's doing, right? Mm-mm. Because they feel like they have them tethered. Charlotte just sent me an article saying it's official. Cleveland is getting a WNBA team. Yay! Right? The new team, Valkyries, that's out in Los Angeles, they seem to be balling. And I think Angel Reese and them went in there, Chicago Sky, and they beat them too. They seem to be balling. So now Cleveland is getting another team. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the newest owners of a team in Canada is Serena Williams and her family. So look at what's going on in the WNBA, look at the difference after the year that Angel Reese had, the vitriol they were spewing at her. Look at where her talent is. Look at the fact that she's playing in a different league and realize that's the answer. When the NFL is only your option, you tend to put up with whatever's happening. But now we know 7-on-7 out of high school, right? So the NFL is not the first league they're going to get to. We know college with NIL, right? So I can take my $8 million and go to medical school if that's what I want to do. Or you go to the league for 4 years, get in, get your money, and get out. There's no reason these guys can't start their own league. I have not seen one, but I have seen enough. Enough that I'm looking at Jacksonville. I guess I'm going to support Travis. Or maybe then I'll be like Tina and just only watch college. Who knows? But we getting our ducks in a row because what do we expect? Cleveland to do what? Do what they've been doing. When it comes to black quarterbacks. Has Cleveland ever had a black quarterback that you have seen them put on a pedestal? That you have witnessed be good there and go on and be great somewhere else? Who is that? WNBA is getting 3 new teams. Okay. Thank you, Charlotte. What happened now in Cleveland? Hey, Gretchen. I don't know. I think Charlotte just sent us a story saying the WNBA is getting a new team. One of them is in Charlotte, and the others, there's 2 others somewhere. I wonder if one of those teams is the team that's going to be owned by Serena Williams and her family, because I thought they said Toronto for one of their teams. We don't know much about Cleveland right now. We were just talking about were there any black quarterbacks in Cleveland that were successful and went on to be successful somewhere else. Successful in Cleveland and went on to be successful somewhere else. That was the question. Peter said Cam mentioned to Shador when they were training that he wanted them to start their own league and should. And if anybody should, it's definitely those two because it's definitely affecting those two. Hell, every quarterback that has been through the NFL that's still alive and living and have money should get together and do it. Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia are getting WNBA teams. Okay. All right. Somebody said earlier, was it Peter or somebody else that said Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark saved the WNBA? I'd agree with that. Definitely put a focus on it that people like myself who didn't pay attention to it went to the games, not just watched on TV, went to the games. See, that's huge when somebody like Angel Reese, who I started watching at LSU, can have you follow her in a league that you didn't know nothing about or didn't know it still existed and get you to physically come out and go to the games repeatedly. That's huge. Yes, there are fans who like Caitlin Clark. They did the same thing. And there were fans that like Angel Reese and they did the same thing. See the difference this year and instead of like last year, the WNBA wanted to act like it was only Caitlin. And right now, that's failing. Angel can't be denied. Caitlin is injured again. But even before she was injured, a company that does stats, I don't know if y'all ever heard of Stat Muse, they put together a post on X. I was shocked that they did it to this, to be honest. It says, now just listen. It says Angel Reese last 5 games, 38% field goal rating, 27.9% 3-point shooting, and more turnovers than balls, made. It said, oh, wait, that's actually Caitlin Clark's stats. What did I say earlier today? Is she injured or is it that they were losing? Come on, sit over here. See, in year one, when they were losing, when she was getting the ball the most of the time, they went 2-11. And you could see the frustration on the court. You could see the frustration. The coach was in a pickle. And she sat Caitlin down. And they went on to win with the ball going through Aaliyah Boston. Y'all know that coach got fired, right? Yep. You see, that coach got fired. And then look what happened in Chicago. Angel Reese balling out, Kaiser Chick, one of the 3-point shooters that they needed. Somebody that they overpaid, wanted out. They let her leave. The coach was playing favorites with the ball because the girls that were there before wasn't getting much time with other new players. And they would be ahead going into halftime and let the lead dissipate and get eaten up by somebody who wasn't that good. You know that coach got fired too, right? The WNBA didn't expect Chicago to be good. They sent Angel Reese, who was one half of all the attention they were getting out of college, to Chicago, who did not even have a training facility of their own. That's why nobody wanted to be in Chicago. They sent Angel Reese there, much like they sent Shador to Cleveland. That's why people say today, people are saying on X, Shador Sanders is the Angel Reese of the NFL. Right. When I started this channel, they were both in college. And I said they have the same haters. I said Coach Prime and Angel Reese have the same haters. I said Shador and Angel Reese, when they were both in college, have vitriol spewed at them. That's what made me start this channel. And now she's 2 years in, and a new league has come along. And to me, that is her saving grace. She's not dealing with the frustration of trying to make it in the WNBA amidst them holding her back. She brings excitement because the other person is in street clothes. And even with her in street clothes, they refuse to talk about the leader of the Indiana Fever, Mitchell. That's the true leader. So with Caitlyn in street clothes, the media is still trying to do what the media does. Just talk about it as if, since if I talk about it, then y'all gonna believe that she's the best. Fans are like, nah, we see what it is. We see you not paying attention to the New York Liberty. We see you not paying attention to Enrique Obaganwale. There was no reason why Enrique's name should have became well known at All Star. She was literally Lamar Jackson doing the All Star game last year. Caitlin Clark is Josh Allen. So their little plan last year is backfiring. Caitlin came out and said the WNBA was built off the backs of black women. She's walking around with somebody's kid who's mixed black. She's letting people know I don't have a problem with black people. That ain't on me. Now she in street clothes on the bench. They went 7-8. Mitchell brought them to 8-8. So let's see what they do if they have the lead when she puts her uniform back on and plays. Let's see what happens. Now they highlighting that her stats are the one that's bad. Angel out here balling. Pat Mahomes now has company in his division. He got Geno Smith. Guess who it was supposed to be? Shador Sanders in Vegas. But now it's Geno Smith. And Pat has to go up against Geno Smith to come out of his division. Imagine if he would have had to go up against Shador Sanders. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Vegas Raiders. I would have liked to have seen that. The matchups that we should see, we probably not going to see. The person like Angel Reese made the WNBA exciting last year. Shador Sanders is the one that will make the NFL exciting this year. And they're doing exactly what they did to Angel Reese last year, her rookie year, to Shador in his rookie year. Now remember, I stopped watching. I stopped watching the WNBA. And then I noticed something. I noticed I didn't hear any hatred from the media towards Angel Reese. So I watched a game or two. And I was like, okay, all right. I didn't understand why they were 2-6, but that has been remedied as well. Some people in the comments said that Angel's new coach wanted to try something different. It wasn't working, and they quickly fixed it. So Angel Reese is the princess of the WNBA rightfully, not because of the way she carried herself, but because of her talent. So that's a correction. Because see, last year the WNBA was going off of preference. Now they want to, I guess they don't have a choice if Caitlin's in the street clothes, right? To let talent shine. And even with her in her uniform, just like last year when the ball was going through her, they were losing. And the WNBA didn't care until they lost their 11th game and the fans cared. But they still fired that coach who benched Caitlin. So let's see what happens in the WNBA when Caitlin puts a uniform back on. And if there's a lead where talent has led them to a winning record. Let's see what happens because it's going to be a lesson for the whole Shedeur Sanders situation as well. Because what happens is fans who spend money to come to these games, they want to see competition. What the NFL is building is a league of preference and mediocrity. Talent is not being considered. If you thought talent was being considered, then that means you don't know that Cam Ward has to compete with the guy that failed. You don't realize that Pittsburgh took Aaron Rodgers for 1 year with domestic violence allegations hanging over his age and the calendar because he's getting ready to be 43 and passed on a franchise QB in Shedeur. Or that Geno Smith was moved from Seattle to block Shedeur from the Raiders, which definitely blocked a competition between Shedeur Sanders and Pat Mahomes in their division. That means you don't know that there's two black quarterbacks stacked on many teams to try to mitigate who comes out of the AFC and NFC conference games and what four quarterbacks compete for the Super Bowl and what actual two quarterbacks make it to the Super Bowl. They finally did something about the cheating with the refs in Kansas City. Finally. And what did we see in the Super Bowl? What people have been saying when CJ Stroud took the Texans and put them on his back, that Kansas City had help. And that was to prevent CJ from going instead of Pat Mahomes. Now, what you think about Shedeur not going to Vegas after all in the same division with Pat Mahomes? You see it a little differently yet? So then it would be who? Jalen Hurts versus maybe Shedeur Sanders? One day. Pat Mahomes maybe would make it because he don't have the refs no more to help. Maybe Jaden Daniels would make it. But it wouldn't be the person that they chose. That's the difference. That's the point. So look at what's happening in the WNBA in year 2 with Angel Reese, how talent prevailed after all. Injuries, maybe injuries, is what's sidelining Caitlin. And talent is prevailing. But even before she got injured, did they see development in her game? No. Did she get any better? No. Why should she? You chose me because that's what you wanted to do. That means I didn't need to do nothing to get any better. That's why Jackson Dart looked like he did in New York. Because they got a pass. You the one we like. Forget their talent. We want you to be out there. So why should they go out there and bust their butt? That's why Mason Graham came in sharing his lunch with people on the field. Why the hell should I work out? You pick me, your first pick in the draft. That means I'm good the way I am. That's who they putting out before you. Because of their lack of melanin. Pat Mahomes too. So pay attention to the WNBA and see where it keeps going. How this season ends. And yes, Caitlin did come out and say something I ain't heard Josh Allen say. Who rightfully deserves the credit. And then we're going to see what happens in the NFL. Oh, they're going to have a new team in Philly in 2030. Speaking of 2030, other than the fact that Trevor Lawrence is tied to Jacksonville with a no trade clause to 2030, shout out to the legendary women's basketball coach, Don Staley, who supposedly either has already interviewed with the New York Knicks for a head coaching job with the Knicks after they fired Thibodeau. That's huge. I would like to see that. The only hiccup is that she just signed her contract, paying her $4 million, I think, a year with South Carolina to 2030. I would like to see her get out of that and go be the head coach of the New York Knicks. Everything she touches turns to gold, just like Coach Prime. So let me know your thoughts about Coach Don Staley possibly. Well, she's definitely in consideration for the job. But what do y'all think about her impact on the WNBA if it will translate from the WNBA from college? Because I think she's a Hall of Famer in the WNBA. College, she's just been a coach there too. Um, Only at South Carolina since 2008. What do y'all think about the possibility of Coach Don Staley becoming the new head coach of the New York Knicks? Let me know. Yep, that's huge, right? That's huge. Cleveland had a team in the 90s, the Cleveland Rockers. My homegirl played for them. Oh, okay. So Cleveland already had a team, so they're getting another team. Okay, I think that's nice. I think that that's really nice. Detroit is getting a team too. Okay, that's special. Detroit, Philly, and Cleveland. Did Houston ever get a team back for the WNBA? Remember they had a team? Serena Williams owns the Toronto Tempo. Okay, are they when do they start playing, I wonder? Charlotte. We getting ready to wrap up. This was good. This was good. We started talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars and ended up talking about seeing what change looks like when people want to use race as a marketing ploy to attract certain people who don't like the majority of the league's players and what that looks like in year two with Angel Reese. I wish Dawn get the job. Charlotte say she hoped Dawn get the job. Okay, so Serena's team is called the Tempo. Okay, and they're gonna play next year, 2026. Okay, all right. So the WNBA is expanding once again. When Houston gets a team, I guess it'll be official because they had one of the best teams, the Comets. I think that's what they were called, the Houston Comets. So it'll be interesting to see if Houston gets another team. I don't know how a city the size of Houston does not already have a WNBA team. Again, I'm not sure they should have ever lost the last one, but I don't know much about their history. Dawn Staley resume cannot be denied. For real. Yeah, I want her. I would like to see her get the job with the Knicks. I would. I would like to see her get that job, but I don't know if her I mean all contracts have a buyout. And of course, the NBA can afford to buy out her contract. I think that's what should happen. And I think they say she interviewed for it, which means she's not just in consideration. That means she's interested too. So we'll follow up on Don Staley making her entrance as a head coach. That feels like a first for a woman to be a head coach. I know that there was it Becky Hammond, who I think was an assistant coach with the Spurs, but I don't know if she elevated to head coach. But for Don Staley to be considered the head coach of a marquee team like the Knicks, boy, that's huge. That's huge. How y'all think the players will respond to it? What do y'all think about? Like, you think the players will be like, I'm fine with it. What do y'all think? I mean, as much as sports is different, it's still the same. I even see it in the podcast space with me being a woman sometimes. I don't get rude comments like stick to what you know. I don't get stuff like that. But when I look at who's out there, I don't see a lot of me. I don't see a lot of me at all. Gender, skin color too, melanin too. So I wonder, let me know what y'all think about how she will be received by a male dominant NBA when it comes to head coaches. Yeah, Don Staley's resume, Ghost and Nessa, yeah, her resume, I would like to see that. Now that's how they gonna get me back. That's how they gonna get me back. The NBA want me to come back. They need to make Don Staley, definitely make Don Staley the head coach of the Knicks. And I'm a Knicks fan like that. That's what they need, though. That's what they need. They've been recirculating, in my opinion, the same losing coaches from team to team. And the NFL is guilty of that as well. Trying to keep, trying to ice people out. So I wish Don get the job. Me too, Charlotte. The Williams sisters also minority owners of the Miami Dolphins. Yep, that is true. So what would be the ownership stake for Serena and her family? I kind of heard a little bit about it. I think her husband was talking about it. I feel like they just the owners outright though. I could be wrong. Let's see. Who owns the Toronto Temple WNBA team? Let's see what it says and we're going to get out of here. The Toronto Temple, the WNBA's first Canadian team, is primarily owned by Kilmer Sports Ventures, led by somebody named Larry Tannenbaum. Serena Williams is also part of the ownership group. The team is set to begin. Okay, so she's part ownership just like she is in Miami. That's an impressive resume. To have limited partnership or ownership in two sports teams, in two different leagues. That's pretty good. It wouldn't surprise me if they end up with ownership in a soccer team too at some point, if they don't have it already. She might have it already. Yep, Queen T, you're right. They were part owners just like they are in Miami. You were spot on. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Y'all, this was good. This was good. This was good. We'll be back tomorrow. Just look for your notifications. And I normally try to wait about 3 to 5 minutes before I start, just because it's summer, so I'm moving about and try to schedule it ahead of time so y'all can get the notification. So just look for us tomorrow. Who knows what the topic will be? That's the beauty of it. I'm happy to see Travis and his new teammates, building chemistry together. I think the Jags could be up for a solid season. And for those people who, like myself, we want to see Shador, but the NFL is on that Fugazi, uh, you know, with Milrow, Cam Ward, and Shador Sanders. We might be looking at Travis Hunter, who notably is not a quarterback. He's a wide receiver. And he gonna make Trevor look good. So we probably gonna keep an eye, out on Travis and the rest of the Buffs. The first game that they play of the regular season is against the Carolina Panthers, which is where Jimmy Horn Jr. plays. Jimmy Horn Jr. plays. So that'll be a fun matchup. So, Jacksonville might be our alternate team till Cleveland get their crap together. QB. Yeah. Okay, y'all. So we gonna get ourselves out of here. Um, See y'all later. This was fun. Have a good night. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Oh, y'all go show Dayami Brown some love on his YouTube. I subscribe to his channel. He has pretty good content. So if you just like sports in general and seeing behind the scenes of their lives and the training and stuff like that, his brother got married, so he posted from that wedding. Dayami Brown, Dyami Brown. All right, have a good night, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you, Queen T. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said.